Imagine opening your phone in the morning. You scroll through your feed, and within minutes, you're bombarded by shocking headlines, angry debates.
You tell me about this guy. This is what we're going to have.
Here's the guy that inherited $200 million. If he hadn't inherited $200 million, you know where Donald Trump would be right now? Selling watches in Manhattan.
And emotionally charged videos. It feels like the world is either on fire, falling apart, or heading towards some inevitable clash. But have you ever wondered, why does it seem like every opinion online is louder, angrier, and more extreme than ever before? And more importantly, is social media actually making us this way? The truth is unsettling. Social media isn't just a mirror reflecting our society. It's an engine, actively shaping it. And one of its most alarming effects is how it quietly fuels political extremism in ways we rarely notice until it's too late. Today, we're peeling back the layers of this digital machine to understand exactly how we got here and what it means for the future.
I'm going to fight for justice. I'm going to fight for prosperity, for peace. I'm going to fight for the one true faith.
The digital stage. How social media became the new battlefield. It's no secret that politics has always been divisive. Humans have always gathered in groups, argued and disagreed, sometimes violently. But what's different now is where this happens. In the past, political debates were shaped by television broadcasts, newspapers, and face-to-face discussions. But with the rise of Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, the rules completely changed. Political discourse is no longer just happening in government halls or newsrooms. It's happening in real time on your phone, 24/7. These platforms are designed for speed, emotion, and engagement. They're not neutral public squares. They're corporations with algorithms that push the most clickable, shareable content to the top. And as it turns out, the content that grabs attention fastest is often the most extreme because nothing spreads online quite like outrage. In the old days, to get your political opinion noticed, you'd have to write a letter to the editor or speak at a public meeting. Now, you just post a meme, a tweet, or a 30-second video, and within hours it can be seen by millions. The digital stage rewards passion, anger, and drama far more than calm, reasoned discussion. And here's the catch. When outrage is rewarded, outrage becomes the norm.
And algorithms that play on anger, outrage has become a brand. It's exhausting.
Over time, people start to adopt more extreme positions, not necessarily because they believe them fully, but because the algorithm rewards them with attention, followers, and influence. The echo chamber effect. Why we only hear what we want to hear. One of the most dangerous aspects of modern social media is what researchers call the echo chamber. This is when you're surrounded only by voices, posts, and opinions that agree with what you already believe. Think about your own feed. How often do you see something that completely challenges your beliefs? Probably not much. That's because the algorithms learn from your clicks, likes, and shares. If you engage with certain types of content, the system assumes you like this. Here's more of it. At first, this seems harmless. After all, who doesn't want a personalized experience? But over time, this personalization becomes isolation. You end up inside a digital bubble where opposing viewpoints are filtered out, and you only see your side of the story. This is how political polarization deepens. When people are never exposed to nuanced perspectives, they start to believe this other side is not just wrong, but dangerous. They're painted as enemies, not fellow citizens. In these echo chambers, ideas get amplified and radicalized. Small political disagreements can morph into conspiracy theories. Healthy skepticism can turn into deep mistrust. And without exposure to different perspectives, it becomes easier to adopt extreme views without even realizing it. The emotional economy. How outrage became a business model. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Outrage is profitable. Social media platforms don't just connect people, they sell attention. The longer you stay online, the more ads they can show you, and the more money they make. What's the best way to keep someone glued to their screen? Trigger their emotions, especially fear, anger, and outrage. These emotions create urgency, making you click, comment, and share faster. Studies have shown that emotionally charged content, especially negative emotions, travels faster and further online than neutral or positive content. And because the algorithm rewards engagement, creators and political influencers learn that the fastest way to grow an audience is to push emotional buttons. Before you know it, your feed is a carefully curated cocktail of anger, shock, and drama, because that's what keeps you coming back. And when this is applied to politics, it creates a dangerous feedback loop. More outrage means more clicks, which means more extreme content is produced, which means society becomes more divided. Digital radicalization. How extremes become normal. One of the most alarming developments in recent years is the speed at which people can be radicalized online. In the past, past, joining an extremist political movement required physical meetings, underground pamphlets, or fringe radio broadcasts. Now, the recruitment process is as simple as following a hashtag or joining a private group. You start with one video or a post that aligns with your beliefs. Then, the platform recommends something slightly more intense, and you click it. The next video is even more extreme, and so on. Before long, you've traveled down a rabbit hole without realizing how far you've gone. This slow, subtle escalation is why digital radicalization is so dangerous. It doesn't feel extreme while it's happening. You're just learning more or seeing the truth. But in reality, you're being led toward more radical views step by step. And it's not just individuals who fall into this pattern. Entire communities can shift this way. Online groups that start out as innocent political discussion forums can slowly become breeding grounds for conspiracy theories, hate speech, and even calls for violence. Breaking the cycle. Can we fix it? So, is this just the new normal? Are we doomed to live in a world where social media pushes us toward political extremes? Not necessarily, but fixing it will require both personal and systemic changes. On an individual level, we can become more aware of how the algorithms shape our worldview. This means actively seeking out diverse sources of information, following people with different perspectives, and resisting the temptation to only engage with content that makes us feel validated. On a larger scale, some argue that social media platforms should be more transparent about how their algorithms work and take responsibility for limiting the spread of dangerous content. Regulation may be necessary, though it's a complicated and controversial path. The most important thing is to recognize that political extremism online doesn't happen in a vacuum. It's the result of deliberate design choices made by tech companies, combined with human psychology's natural biases. The more we understand how these forces work, the better we can resist them. Because at the end of the day, technology should bring people together, not tear them apart. Social media has transformed the way we communicate, learn, and engage with the world. But in the process, it has also magnified our divisions and made political extremism a part of our daily lives. The challenge for the future is figuring out how to harness its power without letting it consume us. The next time you feel yourself getting drawn into an online argument or swept up in an outrage-fueled post, take a step back and ask yourself, am I thinking for myself, or am I thinking the way the algorithm wants me to? Because in a world driven by clicks and outrage, the most radical thing you can do is think for yourself.